Now, one video you guys won't be seeing me do soon is how to build custom horror shelves. But one thing I can talk about today is tips for Blu-ray collecting and horror Blu-ray collecting. You know, I get asked about this kind of stuff often in Facebook and Instagram, and I thought, let's make a video so I can get my thoughts out there. Now, this is not the collecting Bible. This is not it's my truth, but it's not like the universal answers for everybody's, tips and tricks, whatever. You could find different tips in other videos, but these are 5 things that I've found that help me with my collecting in terms of saving money, getting the best deals, and finding things when they're available. Alright, so tip number 5, learn about the other options online. Yes, we have Amazon, which is basically a one-stop shop in a lot of cases, but there are other places that'll offer deals and certain things that you can't get on Amazon, such as Diabolic DVD. Grindhouse Video. Don't forget, you can also get Arrow video stuff on Target.com, Walmart.com, and sometimes the prices vary. Sometimes you can get it for $1 cheaper here or $1 cheaper there. There are other alternatives to just Amazon, and it's always worthwhile to check your options. So, if you're watching this and you know even more places, Grindhouse is one I use, Diabolic DVD is a site I use very often. If you know any more other boutique online shops that you can use, drop those in the comments below. But that's something that I've found that's been very helpful to me, is a site like Diabolic DVD. Quite frankly, they're a site that sometimes you can't find it on Amazon regardless. So know about your other online options is a very important tip. Now, tip number 4, talking back about Amazon, is when you have a movie you like, check it as often as possible. If there's a movie at a price point you're just not a big fan of, that $24.95 range, or even worse, that $34.95 range, if you can hang on just a bit, check it often. Amazon does not have a rhyme or reason always for their price reductions. There have been movies that I've wanted, like Return to Swamp Thing or Split Second from those MVD lines, where I wanted them bad. And I would check the prices and I'd be like, 29, oh my goodness, or 34, oh Lord. And I would put them in wish lists and I would just save them and check them and check them. And one day they dropped to like 19 or 18 bucks. I pounced. There's not a rhyme or reason. I don't understand how they do this with their pricing. I don't understand when they do it or why they do it, but check it as often as possible. If there's a movie that's not at the price point that you want, if you can hang on, my bet says it'll drop down pretty quick. Tip number 3, this is a very important one. Make friends with the same hobby as you. Now, I mean that in a sense that, of course, it's great to have friends that you can talk to about all this stuff and connect with. Friendship is important. Friendship is one of the most important things in life itself. But also, you can't know everything at all times. It's really helpful to have somebody that can remind you or show you, hey, did you see this? Check out Grindhouse. Just the other night, me and my friends were online and doing like a private stream, just hanging out, and all of a sudden, they said, hey, Grindhouse is having this flash sale, let's get on it. And all of us online were buying movies at the same time. I got a bunch of movies for like 50 bucks. A bunch of movies. That's awesome and very helpful. You can't know everything at all times. So meet people, reach out to people. There are some really jerky people in this hobby, but for the most part, we're mostly pretty nice sweethearts. So, reach out. You'll be able to tell who's pretty nice right away. But making friends in this hobby is very important because you can't know everything at all times. And it's always good to help somebody out. If they don't know about something, tell them about this deal that this website's having, or tell them about this flash sale that Amazon's doing. Make friends in this hobby if you can. Tip number 2, don't forget to hunt in the wild. Now, in a world where physical media is dwindling in the U.S. on a larger scale, not on the boutique scale, but in the mainstream scale, a lot of better movies are ending up at Dollar Trees and Dollar Generals. People are doing Dollar Tree hauls all the time now. Like, that's a thing. People are finding horror movies at Dollar Trees and things like that. Don't forget about your shops. Don't forget about your game exchanges that have used DVDs and Blu-rays. Don't forget about your Second and Charles, Books A Million. You will never know what you find. There's an expression that I have found to be very true in my life. You find the best stuff when you're not looking for it. Don't have a specific movie in mind. Just go and say, let's see what we find. I'll find random cool movies like Zombie 5 Killing Birds, which is not necessarily a really great recommend, but I found Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys, which is a far out of print movie. I got it for $4. It's going for like 30 or 40 online. Always hunt in the wild. Don't let that die, especially now because people are getting rid of their movies. They don't need them anymore because they're streaming. So for us collectors that like physical media, because we don't want our movies trimmed online when we have no say over it, we want to own the movie. So hunt in the wild. Find the best stuff when you're not looking for it. Trust me. Don't let that hobby die. Love hunting in the wild. And the number one tip for horror Blu-ray collecting, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Go region free. I know I've said this a bunch, but listen to me. Going region free will save you money. I mean, that's the best way I can describe going region free. The player is not the cheapest thing. I understand that. You got to pay about 100 to 120, sometimes 140. It just depends. I mean, I recommend the LG players because they seemingly always come in a little bit cheaper than the Sony players, and my LG player is flawless. You turn it on. If it's an American Blu-ray, you play it normally. If it's a UK Blu-ray, you open up the disc tray, you put the disc in, you press the number 2, it swaps the machine over to a region B. So it's the simplest, easiest machine I've ever seen. I recommend that one big time. If you want to use that one or get that player, I'll drop that below or ask me and I'll comment with my affiliate link if you want to use that. But going region free will save you money. Let me explain. Let's say, here's a perfect example for me. I wanted this movie called Ghost Town. Now, this was a Empire Picture movie that came out on Scream Factory, and I didn't pick it up. I don't know why I never picked it up, but this is just how collecting goes. We never get things when they're in print. We always want things when they're out of print, right? That's the nature of this hobby. I wanted it. I looked online, and it's a lot of money, 50, 60 bucks for it. I'm not going to pay that for the movie. I went to 88 Films, and I got it for $13, $14 retail price and saved money. So those increments of money you'll save getting titles that you want but don't want to pay that higher price for because they're out of print will go back into the price you paid for that player. My player has been paid for months since I've had it. It's been paid for months. I probably had that player paid for in terms of what I saved in a matter of 3 months, getting movies that are available overseas that just aren't available over here anymore. Not to mention the Dawn of the Dead box set. Everybody said, hold on, we're getting one in America. Well, it hasn't happened yet, so I got the Dawn of the Dead box set that I wanted, and I haven't looked back, and it's the most amazing release ever. 4K transfers of every edition of the movie, stereo cut, theatrical cut, long cut, new special features that could very well be only special to that release, so there's no looking back for me. I know it's hard. I was the same way. Do I jump? Do I jump? Oh, I've got so many movies already. It's worth it, especially going forward, because in my opinion, physical media is going to do a little bit better over there as opposed to over here in the future years. So those are 5 tips, guys. So I think those are 5 things that have helped me big time in my collecting. Making the friends is a very important one because you can't know everything at all times. So those are some ideas. You know, if you do those already, awesome. If there's other things that I haven't mentioned that you think are very vital, please drop those in the comment section below so we can all learn from each other and help each other out. This is Christian Hanna Horror saying, love you guys, happy collecting.